I'm Steve, and welcome back to the AI Beginner Academy podcast, the calm, beginner-friendly place to understand AI without the noise. Over the past few months, something has felt different. AI tools seem more capable. Conversations feel smoother. Responses feel more thoughtful. And with newer models and more advanced agents being released, it's almost as if things quietly shifted to a new level. And after those changes, I started receiving a slightly different kind of message. Not just curiosity, not just concern about the future, but something more personal. What does this mean for my job? Should I be worried about being replaced? How do I stay relevant if AI keeps improving? Those are real questions, and they deserve calm, practical answers. So that's what today's episode is about. Not fear, not dramatic predictions, and not worst-case scenarios. Instead, we're going to talk about 3 smart, grounded moves you can make right now to stay valuable as AI continues to evolve. Because here's the truth. Yes, AI is getting stronger. Yes, certain tasks are changing. But careers aren't erased overnight. They evolve. And the people who adapt intentionally tend to do very well. The goal today isn't to compete with AI. It's to understand how to work alongside it and position yourself wisely as things continue to shift.
Listen to questions.
After the last episode, a few of you reached out with something more personal. Not just about what AI is doing, but about what it might mean for you, for your role, your career, your long-term stability. And one message from Michelle really captured that concern. She wrote, "Hi, Steve. Love the show. Not sure about the song at the end, though. It's kind of goofy." Fair enough, Michelle. I'll take that under advisement. She continued, "I keep hearing that AI is getting better and better. At what point does that start affecting my job? I'm not in tech. I don't code. I just want to make sure I'm not caught off guard. What should I actually be doing right now?" Michelle, that's a thoughtful question. And it's one I'm hearing more often. Because when tools improve quickly, it's natural to wonder where you fit into the picture. So instead of asking, "Will AI replace me?" a more productive question might be, "How do I stay valuable as AI evolves?" And that's exactly what we're going to unpack today. So why does this conversation about careers feel more urgent now? It's not because AI suddenly became conscious. It's because it became useful. When AI could only generate rough drafts or basic summaries, it felt interesting. Now it can draft polished content, analyze large documents, summarize meetings, write code, organize plans, suggest strategies. That's when people start asking, "Wait, that's part of what I do." And here's the key shift. AI isn't replacing entire professions overnight. It's compressing tasks. Certain parts of jobs, especially repetitive, structured, or documentation-heavy work, are becoming faster and easier to automate. And when tasks change, expectations change. If something used to take 2 hours and now takes 20 minutes, leaders start to recalibrate what productivity looks like. That's why this feels personal. Not because your career disappears, but because the shape of work is evolving. And whenever work evolves, value shifts. So the question isn't, will AI take my job? The better question is, how do I stay valuable as the tools improve? And that's where the 3 smart moves come in. Smart move number 1, learn to use AI. Don't compete with it. This is where a lot of people go wrong. When a tool becomes powerful, the instinct is to compare yourself to it. It can write faster than I can. It can summarize quicker than I can. It can generate ideas instantly. And that comparison creates anxiety. But here's the shift. You're not competing with the tool. You're directing it. If AI can draft something in 30 seconds, that doesn't eliminate your value. It changes your role. Your value becomes judgment, context, refinement, accuracy, decision-making. AI can generate options. You choose which ones make sense. AI could draft a proposal. You understand the politics behind it. AI can summarize a report. You know what matters strategically. The safest position in a shifting environment isn't resistance. It's literacy. The professionals who tend to gain leverage during technological shifts aren't the ones who say, "This will never work." They're the ones who learn how it works and use it intentionally. So if you're wondering what to do this week, pick one AI tool and practice, not endlessly, just consistently. Because once you understand the tool, it stops feeling like a threat and starts feeling like leverage. Smart move number 2. Move toward human leverage work. As AI gets better at structured, repeatable tasks, the value of certain skills shifts. AI is strong at pattern recognition, drafting structured content, processing large amounts of information, following logical steps, but it still struggles with things that require deep human context, emotional nuance, trust building, ethical trade-offs, complex negotiation, leadership under uncertainty, reading the room. When tools automate pieces of execution, your value moves upward. Less repetitive production, more judgment, more coordination, more decision-making. Think about it this way. If AI can draft the first version of a proposal, the most valuable person in the room isn't the fastest writer. It's the one who understands the stakeholders. If AI can analyze data quickly, the most valuable person isn't the one who runs the spreadsheet. It's the one who knows what the data means for the business. This is not about becoming more human in a vague sense. It's about consciously strengthening the parts of your role that require perspective, responsibility, experience, relationship. As AI handles more execution, human leverage becomes more important, not less. So ask yourself, which parts of my job are uniquely human, and how can I double down on those? That's where long-term value lives. Smart move number 3. Become the AI translator at work. Every workplace right now has a mix of people. Some are experimenting with AI daily. Some are skeptical. Some are quietly avoiding it. And many are unsure what's allowed or appropriate. That creates friction, and friction creates opportunity. You don't need to be technical. You don't need to code. You don't need to build models. But if you can, test tools responsibly. Explain clearly what they can and cannot do. Identify realistic use cases. Flag risks before they become problems. Help your team experiment safely. You become incredibly valuable during transition. Organizations don't just need AI users. They need translators. People who can say, this is useful here. This isn't ready for that. Here's how we could try this safely. Here's how this improves workflow without increasing risk. That role builds trust, and trust builds influence. During technological shifts, the most valuable professionals aren't always the most technical. They're the ones who help others adapt. If you can help your team move from confusion to clarity, you won't be sidelined. You'll be central.
AI hot tip.
So here's your AI hot tip for this week. Don't ask, will AI replace me? Ask, which part of my job could AI help me do faster? Pick one task you already handle. Maybe it's drafting emails, summarizing meetings, creating reports, organizing research, planning projects. Now use AI to accelerate that specific task. Then, and this is the important part, improve the result. Refine it. Add context. Adjust tone. Correct assumptions. Make it sharper than AI alone could. That combination, AI speed plus human judgment, is powerful. And here's what happens when you practice that. You stop looking replaceable. You start looking efficient. You don't need to overhaul your entire workflow. Just upgrade one repeatable task this week. Because value in an AI world isn't about doing more work. It's about producing better outcomes with leverage. Small upgrade. Real confidence. Before we jump into the optimistic AI thought of the week, I want to mention something quickly. If today's episode made you realize that things really are changing and you want a steady, structured way to stay ready, I created something specifically for that. It's called the 30-Day AI Roadmap. It's completely free, and it walks you step by step through understanding AI, choosing one tool, applying it practically, and building real confidence without overwhelm. You can find it at aibeginner.net/start. There's also a direct link in the show notes. If the pace of change feels faster lately, this is a calm place to begin.
Optimistic AI thought of the week.
Here's this week's optimistic AI thought. Every major technological shift in history has created anxiety at first. The printing press, electricity, computers, the internet. And each time, the people who thrived weren't the ones who ignored the tools. They were the ones who learned to use them early. AI isn't removing the need for people. It's raising the bar for how we contribute. And that's not something to fear. It's something to prepare for. The future won't belong to those who resist AI. It will belong to those who understand it and use it wisely. And that's a skill you can start building today. And before we wrap up, if you have a question about using AI at work, at home, for fun, or about staying confident as these tools become more common, I'd genuinely love to hear from you. You can email your questions anytime at info@aibeginner.net, and I may feature them in a future episode. And be sure to grab the free roadmap. You can explore everything at aibeginner.net. Thanks so much for spending a few minutes with me today. I really appreciate you being here, and I'll see you in the next episode. And my apologies in advance to Michelle.
Schnitzel beats and circuit dreams. Welcome to the show of machines. Grab your bites and join the scene. AI beginner, let's turn the screen. AI beginner, pros to you. Hey! AI beginner, let's compute.